Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now December 31st. It is New Year's Eve, the final day of 2020 before we move on into the new year of 2021, which is where the new Star Wars universe is really going to take off for the Star Wars fandom to enjoy. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that they are currently on the road to success here with this new Star Wars universe. They already have over a dozen Star Wars projects in the works for Disney Plus alone, be it TV shows in live action and/or animated form. They really have a big plan here for that and the new Star Wars movies in general. Now, aside from all of this, we've got George, Jon, and Dave really taking care of the fandom, working together as a team to really deliver as much authentic material moving ahead. And that's exactly what they're focused on. That's their ambition. They really want to make sure that the Star Wars fans can actually experience a lot of Star Wars Legends material coming back into fruition here for the Disney canon. Now, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy, alright? Over the years, since 2012 when she took over as president, obviously a lot of problems have really emerged within the Star Wars franchise. We have seen what happened with The Last Jedi, we have seen what happened with Episode 9, and let's not forget about the biggest thing of all, how Solo: A Star Wars Story lost so much money, and how the box office results were completely a failure on their end, all because of Kathleen Kennedy's poor leadership skills. So, moving on from this, alright, Kathleen Kennedy has been with Lucasfilm since 2012 when she took over as president. It's described that, of course, Kathleen Kennedy recently took part in an interview where she was able to discuss Star Wars. When questioned about the fan backlash, Kennedy went on to say that she believes that the loud and opinionated group over the sequel trilogy is actually the main reason as to why the fans that are actually completely divided and divisive within the Star Wars fandom. Kennedy goes on to say that the small percentage of fans that have had problems with the new movies are what caused Star Wars to become so divisive, and that none of it was Rian Johnson's fault, nor J.J. Abrams' fault, or where the Star Wars fandom is right now. Kennedy went on to unveil and say that the backlash from fans are still a minority and nothing that other fans should focus on, and that it had nothing to do with how the films were made, and that the minority of those fans are overly demanding, that we're asking for the impossible. Now, let's stop right here for 1 second. Now, here's Kathleen Kennedy, alright? This is somebody who has been really denying the backlash being a majority. It really was a majority, right from the get-go. When I went to go ahead and see The Last Jedi myself back in December of 2017, I mean, can you believe it's been 3 years, first of all? Isn't that crazy? When I went to go see the film, a lot of people were coming out looking very depressed, arguing with their friends and family, coming out really just looking very bored and let down. It was a very grim day for Star Wars. And honestly, we got almost a similar reaction to The Rise of Skywalker, where a lot of fans weren't overly surprised or overly satisfied. They could have done so much more. You know, Colin Trevorrow, what he was doing was going to be completely original. What he was building was an original story that would have actually worked and would have been a proper end to the sequel trilogy and would have had a lot of ties to the prequels than what we got in Episode 9's final cut. So, like I say, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, you know, essentially saying of how the minority of the opinionated fans are the reason as to why the community is so divisive or so divided. That's not the case in any way, shape, or form. It was all because of how the movies were produced. It's all because of how Lucasfilm and Disney handled the backlash and refused to even admit that the backlash was a minority, or should I say a majority, where in reality, it, you know, was not a minority at all. Now, some of you guys out there may believe or have an opinion that it is a minority, and that's fine. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's okay. That's welcome here. But in my eyes, a majority of Star Wars fans have an issue. Everybody that I know, be it a hardcore fan, casual fan, or just people that really don't really know much about Star Wars. I know people that don't even know Star Wars that well, that are not labeled, I guess you could say, as Star Wars fans, and even had problems with the sequel trilogy movies and preferred the original ones. So if a common moviegoer that isn't necessarily a Star Wars fan is having an issue with these movies, that does speak volumes. That defines that it has poor writing in these episodes. So, like I say, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, I think, is absolutely in the wrong. I think that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She obviously is trying not to confront the truth as to exactly what happened with the overall sequel trilogy and the Star Wars franchise in general under her leadership. So yeah, like I said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.